Alright, so this is going to be a repair video, and I never did a video on making a wand, and I made a wand for my daughter from a crystal that we got, and it has broken apart, as you can see, and so I'm going to use pine pitch to set it back into its staff. And this is buckskin's cordage, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of undo everything, and this will be kind of ad hoc, and this is whipping, what we call common whipping, and then we tied some little garden ladybugs on there that have little wire wraps around them, and so now it's just a matter of undoing those wraps. However, they were done. And then once this comes undone, and I've got this here, I just kind of wrapped this around there, double wrapped it, and there's that. And here's the cordage that we wrapped around the crystal, and then what you see is remnants of pine pitch. And so we're going to use some pine pitch to set it in. So we're going to try to fix this. So apparently I bored a hole using a hand drill, and apparently it got brittle, and it just came apart and part of it moving. So again, this is a wand. I tried to create some sort of carved motif in there. I'm not very good at that, but I tried anyways. And then we wanted to use all natural materials for the crystal, and that would be pine pitch. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add some more pine pitch. We're going to set it in here, and then we're going to rewrap it to repair this. So it's a wand, so it should be treated accordingly. It's fragile. It's not. It's a powerful tool, but it's not. It's not something that's you're gonna, just ding around, if you will. Heating up the crystal. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I want to make this hot. And then I can set this in. Like so. And then what I want to do is I want to melt the pitch around the crystal and mold it so it grips once it cools. And what I'll do is I'll reinforce it some more. With the pitch stick that I've created already. I'm going to make it so it's pliable, and I can kind of stick it on and fill in the gaps. And so really what you're doing is you're basically using your pitch stick as a hot glue gun, and I'm using a lighter or a flame from a candle or an ember from a fire would do the same thing. And then when it's cool to the touch, you can shape it with your fingers. And then you can use your fire source to gently heat up and make the bonding agent, which is your pitch, kind of mold to the crystal, like so. So this is reseated back into its handle, and then I want to rewrap it using the buckskin. And again, I was using this napkin as a means to kind of catch some of the residual pine pitch. But again, being very careful. Again, this is it's one of those things where you have to be very careful doing this sort of thing. You don't want to catch fire, you don't want to burn yourself, you don't want to burn down your house or anything like that. You don't want to burn yourself. So use common sense. Alright? I'm finding nowadays common sense ain't so common. Use common sense and just be careful. Young folks, don't be doing this without parental supervision. And again, I'm only touching this when it's safe to touch. And it doesn't take too long for this to cool down. So this is set in here pretty well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrap this, and I want to kind of straighten out my cordage here. Got a bead at the end here. I'll fix that later. So what I'm going to do is wrap this down, because what the idea is to cover the pitch area here, so it looks pretty seamless. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to use a technique called common whipping, and I'm going to go this way. Actually, I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to go this way, and what I want to do is I want to make up a bite or a loop in my cordage here, and I want to start my wrap. And I'm just making my wrap. This is going to cover all the way around. I want this end out. This end should not be in the way, and this buckskin, so I can wet it and it'll start to behave now. Now all I want to do is just wrap this to cover the pine pitch that we have going here. And then once I get to the end, as you can see here, I want to tuck this into the loop that we created. I have that at the end, And then I want to take the other end that we let hang, and I want to pull this underneath. And stuff to kind of match and be. And if it doesn't work, if it's not right, then at least before we tuck it underneath, we can kind of undo some things, right? And we have the opportunity to undo some things. But I think for now, for this repair job, I think it'll be just okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to pull this underneath as much as I can, but it should be nice and tight. And then this can hang if you want it to hang, and again, I can attach a bead like I had attached a bead, or you can cut this once you pull this underneath. So that broke, and that's fine. But this is pretty tight.